Good morning. It is Wednesday. I've got my appointment with the dietitian today. But while I'm sat here, I thought I'd say hello. Give you a bit of a weekly update, a weekly waffle as it were. Oh, look at the weird arches in my glasses. It's because of my light. I have a light that sits over my keyboard so I can see it because it's a bit dark. And apparently I can't see. They're gone. So I'm just taking my morning meds while I'm sat here. So I thought I'd keep you updated on what the plan is for today. So let's start from the beginning really. So it's been a fairly good week. Thursday my cousins turned up. All my cousins turned up. His partner and their boy, aka the boy, Jason. So Simon, Sarah and Jay turned up to on Thursday. We stayed for until Saturday, so it was wonderful seeing them. I haven't seen them in far too long. I do talk to Simon and Jay every other night, if not most nights, because we game online together with my other cousin Stephen, who I know is one of my biggest supporters, but all of them are. So I'll give them a bit of a shout out and say, Stephen, I know what you're doing. I hope I help. But yeah, so it was really lovely seeing them. Obviously, we didn't see Stephen this time, which was a bit of a shame, because obviously we miss him as well. We miss all of them. Phone went flying. My phone tried to unalive itself, mainly because I hit the light by mistake. Apologies, I'm back. Yeah, so we missed them all terribly. But they live in Somerset and we live in Kent, so not the easiest of journeys for all parties involved. 3.5 hour round trip. But it was wonderful seeing them, spending some time with them. And yeah, it was a lovely week, to see them. Diet wise, it was fairly, it was different being around people, and Mum actually got to cook properly for the first time in I don't know how long, because obviously with just me and her, we can share essentially a meal for one person, and even then we don't finish it, because I've had a gastric sleeve and she's actually had a bypass. So yeah, together we don't even make a full stomach. Bear with me. So yeah, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. So she got to cook for the first time in a little while and feed people, which is her forte. She was always known as a family feeder. It was a running joke in the family. And I've kind of put a branch in his wheel, shall we say. It's not the right analogy, but I know what I mean. Because obviously me not being able to eat as much now means she doesn't need to cook as much. So and it makes it a little bit more different, but it is what it is. But it was lovely seeing them. We had some sort of fairly normal salady bits. Obviously, the recent heat wave has now come and gone, and it's actually chucking it down. As you can see, I'm in a hoodie at the moment because I'm actually quite cold. Getting ready to drive down to Chichester, but as I say, so the weather's changed. It's been raining and thunderstorming the last couple of days, but while they were up, it was lovely and sunny. Nice little heat wave going on. So we had like chicken salad and bits like that. And then Saturday, Mum wasn't feeling too well, so it was left for me to feed everyone. And I reverted back to old ways and purchased the Chinese for everyone, including myself. I had a chicken curry and I had some chips. And I put it in a normal bowl instead of my little mini one. And I ate the chicken. And I ate like a handful of chips. And then burnt my face off because it was spicy, even though it's a fairly mild curry. So apparently my spice tolerance has now gone through the floor. So that was fun. But yeah, I had a proper normal meal for the first time in a little while. So I had a Chinese. And I didn't actually feel too bad because I just ate the chicken. I had a couple of chips, which didn't help. And that was probably not needed. I could have just had the chicken curry, to be honest. But it was my my glimmer of normality, shall we say. But yeah, I didn't feel too bad afterwards, so that was good. And then just chilled for the evening. Watched Hail Mary, very good film. The Hail Mary Project. Actually recommend it. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, and then Sunday we had like dinner with them, and then they had to go home, unfortunately, which is always a sad time. But soon I had to go back to work, and life had to carry on. So, but it was lovely seeing them. And then this week I went back to work full time for the first time in 7-8 weeks. 8 weeks actually, because I was on part-time hours for the first couple of weeks of returning back to work. So I've been on full-time for the last 2 days, and it's knackered me out completely. I have been exhausted both times I finished work, but it's nice being back to work full-time again. I'm not there today, obviously, because I've got an appointment, which wouldn't normally be an issue, because I could take an hour out and then be back at work, but my appointments with the dietitian and is actually in Chichester. Sorry, I've just washed my hair, so it's a bit everywhere. So I have to drive down to Chichester and back. So I've actually had to take the day, because it's going to take me about 2.5 hours to get there and back each way. So 20-minute appointment, 2.5 hour, like 5 hours traveling. Yeah, makes sense somewhere, I suppose. But I chose that hospital, and I don't regret it in the slightest. They've been absolutely fantastic. I was given the option of a dozen or so hospitals, probably not that many actually, but Chichester's like got raving results, and the other ones were based up in central London or in and around London, and the thought of trying to get up there for the up put me off, because with Chichester I have to drive there. I'm in the car, I can be comfortable, I'm fine. But when we came back, obviously I was in the car, I laid the car at the seat flat, and I've slept for the 2 hours it took to get home. Absolutely fantastic. But the thought of doing that in and out of London is why I didn't choose anyone in London. I'm not saying that they're bad hospitals, I'm just saying that getting a train in and out of London, especially when I'm post-op, was not my idea of a good time. So I figured, yes, it's a bit far away, but the reviews are fantastic, and I can be in the least amount of pain coming home when I'm post-op. And I was right. Like I say, I slept the whole way home and laid flat. Fantastic. The staff, I couldn't fault them. They were absolutely fantastic. Have been the whole way through this journey. And my recommendation is definitely 5 stars. However, would not go again. Not because they're horrible, but because I don't want to have my stomach cut open again. Because, well, I don't have one. And essentially for me, I want this operation to be a one and done, not a part 1 in, part potentially 2. Because that was the initial decision, because I was essentially meant to be going in for a different up. It's called a mini bypass. Essentially, it's single ostomosis bypass, which is just a fancy way of saying that it's slightly different to a full bypass. And I wanted that one because I've done my research, and it was the one that had the least side effects and fastest recovery. But because of my weight, they've recommended doing the sleeve first, and then once I've down my weight, if we want to, then we can discuss doing the part 2, which is then that operation. And I'm quite happy with the sleeve. I'm losing weight. Last couple of weeks I've stalled, as you know. Like 2 weeks ago I'd put on like a pound. Last week I'd stayed the same. I'm going to weigh myself in a bit, and then I'll know what I've lost this week. If anything, I'm really hoping I have. Been to the bathroom, I've had a shower. I'm about as empty as I possibly could be, let's put it that way. So fingers crossed it's gone down. But I do feel better in myself. I feel slimmer. My trousers keep falling down, which is not ideal. I do keep flashing people. But there's not much I can do. Well, there's not much I can do about that. I didn't want to buy new clothes, because I don't want to buy new clothes and then be too big for them, too small for them, and then have to buy new clothes. I wanted to wait until they're sort of almost when I'm at a point where I'm a happy ending, as it were, and then look at buying new clothes. But it might be a possibility that I'm going to have to buy a couple of outfits in the next couple of months just to get me through, because all the clothes that I do own now seem to keep falling off. As Simon can confirm, I was showing him the vibration plate that we had, and I was doing a couple of exercises. I was doing my exercise anyway, so I thought I'd just show him what it is. And I was doing the my arm curls, and as I did my arm curls, my shorts went down. My boxer shorts stayed up, luckily, but my shorts that I was wearing went straight down to my ankles. So everybody got a show, and I need to stop doing that because all of my clothes seem to be doing that currently, so it's not ideal. But it is what it is, I suppose. Right, I'm going to finish doing what I'm doing, and then I'm going to go, and then I will catch you guys. I'll record when I get back and let you know how the appointments went. Bye for now. Good afternoon. So I'm back from Chichester. Tired. Long day. Long drive, but I'm back. Dietitian appointment went really well. She was lovely. Everything seems to be going where it needs to be going. I'm on track apparently. Although there's no target set. I did ask her about that, and she said that it's best not to get caught up in the numbers. Essentially, she's just using like a generic tracker, as it were, just to keep an eye on BMI and weight and all that jazz. So, but she's saying I've lost about 20 to 22% of my excess body weight so far. I am down another 4 pounds. So I've finally lost some weight again, which I'm so happy about. I was so worried that I was still stuck. But I'm down again, which is nice. Still got my hood up, excuse me. Yeah, but let's say long drive, but I'm back now. We discussed my diet and all that jazz, and it all seems to be going well. I need to sort of introduce a bit more fruit and fibre, but it's a lot easier said than done when you're told to eat protein first, and then when you eat the protein you feel full. So then trying to eat like veg and stuff afterwards doesn't tend to normally work. But I'm trying my best to. Yeah, I've got a bit of grey hair. Yeah, funny. Sorry. I got sidetracked by my own reflection then. I'm like a magpie. Ooh, shiny. Yeah. So that was that. But it wasn't too bad. We discussed my toileting habits, which I've definitely discussed more with people more recently than I ever have before. But she did suggest that I try introducing some sort of fibre in other ways. So I'm going to try some flax seed powder, or like chia seeds, or whatever the other one was. I've got a list of things that I need to try, so I'm going to try that. Maybe some kiwi fruit. I've never had a kiwi fruit though, so. And to take the iron tablet every other day or every 3 days, so that's nice. There's one less tablet to take every day. At the moment, I think I'm on 2, 4, 7. So yeah, but that's not too bad. So I'm going to try those things to try and help the old digestive system out, because at the moment it's taking a battering. But other than that, everything seems to be going well. I need to start introducing more. I need to keep doing more fluids, which I'm well aware about. I didn't realise how hard it was to drink 2 litres of fluid a day, especially when you're monitoring it. When you don't, like I used to drink up to 3 litres of Pepsi Max a day without even blinking. Now trying to drink 2 litres of water like through a day is a struggle. I managed to do like 3 bottles of water a day, like 500ml bottles, and even that's a struggle. So I need to start pushing that more. So my plan is to try and drink try and drink more water as I go along. It's all sugar free. It's just like either normal water or flavoured water. You get them from a chain of supermarkets that mums frequent. They do like pack of 4, like 10 for £10, 10 for £10. So 10 packets of 4 bottles of water for a tenner. So it's like, well, I'll just get that, and then just try and drink one of them a day, or just drink normal water, like bottled water, or because the tap water's crap around here. It's very chalky. I think that's the right word. But as I've discussed many times, I have a sleep apnea machine, CPAP, and with that you have a reservoir that you put water in to essentially humidify the air so that you don't dry out, which I did this morning because my reservoir ran out, and I was literally like, my tongue was like sandpaper. It was gross. But sidetracked. But in that there is a lot of there's a build up of limescale, so I have to constantly keep washing it in and washing it out. So I try and use bottled water in it instead of tap water, because it helps with the limescale. But That's why I drink bottled water mainly, more than sort of tap water. But we keep moving, as I keep saying. But other than that, it was a fairly chilled afternoon. Really, it was just a long drive. Like I say, I saw the dietitian. Sorry, she was lovely. Discussed everything we needed to discuss. Got weighed, and then drove back. Now I'm tired, and I'm sat here. I'm gonna go and get another drink because I haven't had one in a little while, and get something to eat because I haven't had that in a little while either. And then finish off my day. So I don't think there's much else to really talk about, really. For this week, I don't want to keep just waffling on and talking about nothing that's exciting. However, I will discuss, I was on Instagram this morning and I did see a reel from the lovely Laura, whose Instagram I have shared before. And she was discussing how underprepared she felt when it came to the op, and when it came to like the medical side of things, like it was very much like everything was covered, but not how you were going to feel afterwards. And I thought that was quite interesting because I can relate quite a lot to that. When it lead up to operation, how it was going to go, everything like that, I can't fault it. Post-op, they don't tell you how. They tell you, but they don't tell you. You were able to eat normally, like properly, and then you're sort of like, oh yeah, no, I understand. And then when you get into it, you're like, I can't eat normally. I can't eat what I used to. I can't eat what I enjoy. I haven't had pasta or rice or bread for over 2 months now. I used to enjoy a sandwich. Spaghetti bolognese was one of my favourite meals. Love a curry and rice. Can't eat any of that. You can't eat the quantities that you used to, which isn't a bad thing because it was quantity that I think was one of my downfalls. But also, it's the normality of things. It's just like, I can't be able to cook tonight. Should we just get takeaway? Which is part of the reason I got where I was. But it's that little Friday night takeaway that you have as a treat or something along those lines, and then you go, alright, I've done it a couple of times, I've gone, screw it, let's get a takeaway. But I always go for just like a protein dense sort of thing, and then I eat it, and then it gets stuck in my throat, and I feel like I'm going to vomit for hours afterwards. And I'm like, why did I do it? And you sort of get slapped in the face, and it's like, with like this instant regret, and you're sort of like, you can't do that anymore. But then you sort of rebel and you do it again, and you can't do it again. It's a bit of an endless cycle. It's been a bit of a cycle in that regard. But it's definitely that normality that you had is sort of almost been taken away. Like eating with other people. We had Simon and that up, as I said in my earlier video. And eating with other people. Like when I eat with my mum, it's fine because she eats about the same thing as I do. But then there's like Simon and that, they can eat normally. And it was, I didn't realise that there was going to be any sort of emotion attached to that, and there is. And I haven't been to a restaurant to eat dinner before, and I used to enjoy going out for meals and stuff, and going to Nando's and sort of random places like that just to get some dinner because it's nice. And then the reality of it being, well, if I go to a restaurant, and then this is my thought process, if I go to a restaurant, I can have a meal, but I can't finish it, and then what am I going to do? Like, do I take it home? Do I leave it? Like, I'm paying the same amount and I can't eat the same amount, and it's just sort of like a constant argument with yourself about everything, really, and like this diet, and it is something that I don't regret doing in the slightest. I think I must be down 6, 7, like 6, maybe 6 and a bit stone now already. And I can't fault it. I feel better in myself. I can walk further, I can stand up longer, I can do things that I haven't been able to do for ages, and it's fantastic. But then there's other things where it's just like, I can't eat a kebab like I used to. Like, I just fancy meat and chips. I used to have a large meat and chips, eat it all, done. No. I can't go out into I can go to a restaurant, but there's definitely going to be that cloud of, firstly, what do I eat? Can I even eat it? Will my body reject it? Will it be okay with what I'm eating and stuff like that. So there's definitely never enough preparation when it comes to post op, because I think you're constantly learning, and that is something that I've found. There's always a new lesson to be learned. Like, I'm working from home at the moment because I am still sort of on recovery essentially, and work have been fantastic about it. But when I go into the office, I normally eat lunch with the girls. But yeah, I've now have to think, well, what am I going to take to have for my lunch? Because that's something that's now changed. So it's all these little changes that make you feel slightly awkward or abnormal or just a bit alien and alienated. Or not alienated, but a bit alien. Because everything that you know has now changed, and you've got to start fresh, and you've got to relearn what you can eat, what you can't eat, how you deal with certain situations. And I think that is something that you are very much underprepared for. So that's just my thoughts on what I saw, and yeah, so yeah, Laura, I feel you, I get you. It's definitely a fight, but that's what we signed up for. So, and like I say, I can't fault it. I'm so much better than I was, and I'm doing better than I was. But it's trying to get past the roadblocks that you put in your own mind. For me, I get scared going to the kitchen still. So in that regard, I'm struggling, but it's just another obstacle we've got to get past and move through. So I'm gonna leave you with that incredibly badly worded thought, and go and get something to eat and chill. And I'll leave you there. So if you want to drop me a comment, leave me a like, hit subscribe, do all that jazz, it'd be fantastic. We're on 20 subscribers. Try and get up to 25, maybe 30. But we'll see. Anyway, as always, I'll catch you next week. Bye bye.